Shapiro,
What's up, cowboy?
rodeo all day, man. I think that's what we're gonna get today.
I would
Okay,
say
so I needed to call Yoda here because I don't really know what's going on. We've had a good chat here about like we've got like this big risk on reading out of NFP, right? It's come out as a bumper here. What do we get?
and a little higher. The recession in full
Yeah.
force.
353 beat on 187, and the manufacturing payrolls I thought was kind of interesting. 23,000 beat on 5,000. Uh, so we got this like market that's been a bit spooked because Jerome said he's not gonna be at the party in March with a cut. So the
That's
market's then got this overhang, and then we get this super bullish risk on NFP. And I suppose we're all sitting here thinking, well, we just got to sit in our hands. But like, I don't know. What do you think? So are they going to rally this, or are they just going to drop out?
I think, like I was saying yesterday, if you want to be short, you be short Russell.
Yeah, I forgot that actually. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's the whole thing, right? If you want to be short Russell.
yeah,
Other than that, I've been on this train for Jesus, it's got to be a year already, and maybe even longer than a year, where I have felt like at some point they have to give up on this fucking idea of recession, right? And
yeah,
they have to, and that has to become bullish, right? They have to switch from the market's only going up because interest rates are coming down. They have to switch from that, and I'm sure I've talked about this with you before because I've been saying it for goddamn a very long time. I mean, clearly it was a year and a half too early, but they have to switch from this idea that stocks are only going up because interest rates are coming down to stocks are going up because there's no recession and we have economic growth, right? And once
yeah.
they do that, and once they buy into that, then to me, I can start thinking about wanting to short the stock market, and not until then. So today's a good
So this is the
opportunity
start.
for that. I mean, today's a good opportunity for that. Let's see if the stock market ends up going down today. Then they haven't done that yet, right? They're still on the, interest rates down, stocks up, interest rates up, stocks down. So if stocks close down today, they're still on that. But I'd like them to get on the other thing because we
So
need,
the what?
and
So
I
the
don't even
news
know if it
fed.
ever happens at this point, man. I don't know if these people ever capitulate. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Even bulls. Nobody says buy, NASDAQ. Nobody says buy Mag 7. Everybody knows it's overvalued and it's gone up too much and it's up, right? And they're all
Yeah.
and they're all saying, roll into I think I said it yesterday, right? They're all into the cut your roses, water your weeds, right?
What are your weeds? Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah, yeah.
sell your NASDAQ stocks and buy your Russell stock. So
By Russell's.
if the market's going down, the Russell's the place to short. I am continually convinced of that. And like I say, more important than me being convinced of it, it's exactly what the market's doing, right? That's been that's
Yeah.
that's been the trade. I mean, the Russell is down on the year, man. You know,
Oh
and,
yeah, it had
and
like what did we say yesterday? It had a 3.5% down day like 2 days ago. There was that we were looking at yesterday.
it's the
Jesus,
weakest by far. So I
oh
keep
yeah.
everybody, if you want to be short, you be short the Russell. It's and even as the market's gone up this year, you've made money on that trade. So what's better than that, right?
Fantastic.
Every time I say it on Twitter, I get so much fucking pushback. It's amazing.
What for that on the Russell?
Yeah,
Why?
because everybody thinks that that the trade is you roll out of the Mag 7 and you roll into the Russell, and if you do the math, one of those Mag 7s has probably got more value
What
than
market cap
the
than
entire Russell. Yeah.
yeah.
So if you do the
Yeah.
math, if people actually rolled out of the Mag 7 and into Russell, the Russell should go up, 50 times. And I think that's Tom Lee has been saying that was his big call this year, where he thinks Russell's going to be up 50% on the year.
So you're
And that
fading that, man.
and
Jesus.
that's everybody's call. So if you want to be short, you be short Russell. That's what I think. And as
So
far as
what do you think about the
goes,
bonds position today? I mean, it hits. I'm just looking at the technicals on this one. You know, Jason and I had a chat yesterday, and we spent, I think, probably the first half an hour, was it?
Probably trying to get you to think my way, and you refuse to, which is good. Good.
So we spent about half an hour to maybe 2 hours of Jason saying, I can't even remember what you were saying, but Jason was like, no, think this way. Stop being Tim. Think this way. And I'm like, okay, okay. I still don't get it. I still don't get it. And I
Yeah.
still don't get it, man. That bond, I'm just looking at the technicals. And yeah, and then Jason was like, no, don't look at it. Don't you look at it. Look at it like the fucking CNBC guys look at it. I'm like, I don't know what to think.
Well, I was just
Anyway.
trying to say, let's try to interpret what these people are saying. That's all I was trying to say.
Right.
That's all. Let's try to interpret what they're saying.
Well, yeah, they're going to be happy with a bit of this, but I don't know. I think I have to zoom out here on the technicals on this, but
They're going to be happy. The bonds
I,
are getting
the,
crushed. They're still higher
yeah,
than
man.
they're still higher than they were 2 days ago.
Yeah, exactly. I think
At least for now they are.
something I was talking about with the guys over here was just before I came on this call was gold is reversing then into quite a nice big support area here, 2040s. And I just can't see it crushing below, man. I just cannot see it crushing below. I think we're going to come down. Technically, what would be a lovely setup would be reverse down onto 2040s on gold. And then equities continue to capitulate. Buyers come back in on the bonds. And thus the real yield then sorts itself out and gold can start to breathe again. And then we just keep dropping on equities. That's an idea I have. And I think I'm only just going to take a trade on gold.
Other than the dropping on equities, I don't have a problem with it. But I'm not. I have a very difficult time being very bearish equities. And look, that could end up being a high tick because I'm just as bad as everybody else. But I have a hard time being very, very bearish equities. I get the story. They're everybody knows they're ridiculous. But
But as you said to me, like 6 months ago, you were just like, yeah, well, when are they not ridiculous? You know?
Exactly.
When are they not ridiculous? I said actually to another market wizard, I said this to Linda Rashke like a couple of years ago. I was just like, do you think they're not like really expensive here? And she's just like, when are they not expensive, Tim? I'm like, fair enough,
It's the truth. It's the truth. It's just like real estate. It's just like real estate. I've never been in a situation, I think in my entire life, where people weren't bitching that real estate was expensive, right? I remember when I was in Hong Kong in the early 90s, it was the most expensive real estate in the world. And it was like numbers that as a 22-year-old, I couldn't even fathom, It was like, whatever, to get one of these nice apartments in Hong Kong was like, whatever, $4 million or something like that for some 2-bedroom apartment. And
now it's 20.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
cheap,
I have a friend.
I like the gold idea because I really don't I don't believe in a dollar rally here, which clearly we're rallying today because of what's gone on in bonds. But I'm not a big dollar rally, so I think the dollar is going to fail. So with dollar failing, that's probably positive gold, et cetera, right?
I don't think you're going to get a new low in the dollar in the next 5 sessions from today's low. That's just a theory I have. I think gold could find buyers.
Yeah.
I think gold could find buyers down here at 2040s and the dollar could stay right where it is right now for 2 days. But the yields will continue to get crushed. And then that's going to be a little bit of a tailwind for gold. And it doesn't, just as the dollar doesn't get crazy, gold could get a bit of breathing room. So,
I mean, I really don't even understand the yield thing anyway, because to me, as I understand yield curve trading, if you're not going to lower interest rates, then that is less inflationary for the future, right? On a net basis, right? If you're going to say, okay, lowering interest rates versus not lowering interest rates, well, not lowering interest rates should be less inflationary on the margin, right? So if it's less inflationary, then to me, the long end of the yield curve should outperform. The short end clearly.
I don't. So,
anchored,
so we finally meet where we spent the best part of yesterday arguing. But yeah, I see what you're saying. But for me now, then that last bit, you're saying, okay, well then if it's less inflationary, then the bonds should be like way down. Like on price, I just think the bonds are trading technically and are like mainly springing off of that yield rather than I think people go to bonds for yields and as you said, people aren't don't all not, people aren't trading these for duration. They're not holding them to redemption, man, you know. I mean,
Yeah, no,
they're
that's
just in there for a yield for a short period. You know, no
yeah,
one's holding it to expiry apart from, you know, pension portfolio managers. And
right.
even they rejig the portfolio. So, you know, I think that's just that last mile of your assumption wouldn't be my assumption.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trade it off of that. I would just say if I were a macro analyst, then that's what I would think. Less inflationary, buy the long end, right? Um,
Aren't all the
in
macro
particular,
analysts
relative
out
to
of
the
work?
short end. I mean, I get the short end. The shorter you go, the more anchored you are to Fed decision, right? But the long end is not anchored to any kind
Right.
of decision. It should be anchored to future inflation expectations. So, like I'm saying, on a net basis, less rate cuts should lower future inflation expectations, and therefore
Yeah.
the long end should be bullish. Now, granted, no one's thinking that when the non-farm payroll comes out at 8:30. You know what I mean? They're seeing the number and they're selling the shit out of bonds. I get that, right?
Yeah. 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 It's risk on, risk off,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. But then you
So
go to say, right, it's that simple. But then, like, well, we're about to open in 15 seconds here. But yeah, where are the buyers? Maybe here come the buyers. You know, five
here
seconds.
come the buyers. I just can't get it out of my mind that you're wearing a farmer's hat today, and then you also got your farmer shirt on, man. Look at you. You like keep it real. You keep your
I
outfit
grew up on I grew
consistent.
up in the countryside, man. I'm no stranger to horse shit and muck
No, I
and
just like how you keep the outfits consistent, man. You're like my teenage daughter. She dresses the part every day.
she's on point. She's on
Yeah.
point. How was that dance recital actually you went to in the Rat Fest
Oh yeah,
off
it
of
was nice.
Manhattan?
It was nice. Yeah, she does a good job with that stuff.
Nice.
She does a good job.
Yeah, here are the buyers. Yeah, there they are. Little bit
Well,
of relief here on that downside. Little bit.
well, on the
Little bit of relief.
Nasdaq anyway. I mean, it's so funny.
Uh,
Listen to Jim Cramer today talk about Meta. The guy
don't
when it
talk
was
to
on
me
it,
about MetaMan.
the day it was on its exact low, the guy was on TV crying about it, saying,
Kramer. All he had to do was look at a technical chart, man. It hit this massive trend line at like $90 at $100.
yeah, 90-ish.
I bought that and got out of it at 150,
I can't tell you how many
and
people have told me that.
I've been regretting it ever since.
So many people say that. I
It's
hear that like
trading like
every day. I bought Meta
$400.
on the lows and I sold it up 40 and I never bought it back. I hear that all the time. But whatever, you take
Yeah,
it.
because it was an obvious trade, man. And I bottled it. I bottled it, and ahead of earnings. Literally, like 2 hours after I got out, it like was up like 13%. That was anyway.
Isn't that how it works? That's how it all works all the
That's
time.
how it works. That's exactly
The
how it
market,
works.
the market doesn't give you the free money, man.
Listen, are the Shapiros loading up the car to go down to Texas and help out at the border?
It's not really our thing. Some guy was calling me yesterday. One of my clients, who is he's a pretty Republican conservative guy,
Hmm.
and he was telling me that we're gonna have a fucking civil war. Telling me things that I never even heard about, which must be what
I
he's been
was
talking
t
about.
That's what I was
Something
that's
on
what
the
I was
Texas
saying to you
borders going
yesterday.
on where they're trying to do something and the government's coming in and saying that they can't do it, and then something on the
Yeah.
Florida thing too. The Florida guy's doing something too, and something. I don't really know. But yeah, civil war.
That's what I was saying to you yesterday, that the Democrats are going to push a new candidate in.
Yes, I agree with that. That's
Or
what they.
you said they were going to put a new
Yeah,
candidate in. I said they were going to put Tom Cruise or The Rock in there,
yeah.
and uh, and they're going to declare them the winner on November 23rd, and the people aren't going to take it. And so you're going to have like the January 6th riots times 20,
Let's
times
go, man.
100.
Let's fucking go. I'm
It would be
all, I'm
fantastic,
all
wouldn't it?
for it, dude. I'm all for it.
If you got the ammo lined up there.
I don't, but I always say if you saw where I was, by the time they got to me, ammo ain't gonna help you, man. I'm in the middle of nowhere. If they get all the way over here, then ammo ain't gonna help you because that means they've gotten everywhere. I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So let it go. Let's go. That's what I say. Let's go. Let's fucking go. It's just like it reminds me of my divorce. We hated each other. We hated each other for so long, and we finally got divorced when there was just absolutely no other option. But the truth is, looking back, we should have got divorced a hell of a lot earlier. It would have saved a whole hell of a lot of pain. But it was inevitable, and then it came. So let's just get it done already, man. Let's go.
You're
Let's
right, that's
let's freaking go. My brother, who I've told you is super liberal, he and hates everything Republican and all this shit, and he's like, oh, I'm like, dude, don't you? Those guys, you hate guns, okay? Those guys all have guns, right? Like, how do you think you're gonna win a civil war against those guys, man? You're gonna get killed, right? Not to mention the fact that they own all the food. They'll just stop sending you food, man. All the cities will be starved out. All the liberal cities will just get starved out because they'll stop shipping you food, man.
yeah,
You're
fair
gonna
enough.
fight. You're gonna fight farmers. You fucking out of your fucking mind? Let's see
Well,
who
that's already
survives.
happening here in Europe, man. The farmers in France, have you seen what's going on? They're
I've seen the
dropping
headlines.
off
Yeah, but
silage bales
haven't they been
into
doing that forever?
McDonald's. What they do love a good riot in France. They
Yeah, the
do. They
farmers in
definitely do.
particular, right?
But no, it's happening in Poland and Holland,
So I'm just
everywhere.
saying, man. You know what I mean?
Had it here in Ireland.
Let's see who wins a civil war: the lawyers or the farmers. I know who I would
I think
fucking
we know
back.
the answer to that one.
That's what I'm saying. So bring it on, man. Bring it the fuck on. You know what I mean? The meek shall inherit the earth, baby. Let's get it going.
This is biblical stuff here, man.
A little Rush,
Biblical.
such a Rush lyric for me, more than biblical, but yeah.
Is that a Rush lyric? The meek shall. No, that's from the Bible, isn't it?
It's from the Bible, but to me, it's a
Right.
Rush lyric.
I really don't know my Bible at all, so I'm
But do
not
you know your
religious
Rush?
person. No, man.
No,
No. The
you
only
gotta.
reason I know about that band is because that film, Dude, I Love You. Is that the one
Oh yeah,
with
yeah.
Paul Rudd? It's a great movie. I watched it a few times. Slapping the bass.
Yeah. No, you gotta get into Rush, dude. Here you go.
I'm gonna. I could probably feed it in here, high quality.
Temples of Syrinx, man. It's a killer Rush song. I believe, if I'm
What's
not
what's the
mistaken, it's off of
what's the number one
2112, which is
song?
an incredible album as well.
What's the number one song I should put on here from Rush?
Yeah, you got to know your Rush, man. It's a necessity.
What's the number one song I should put on?
Oh, what do you like? Do you like poppy songs, or do you like super cool musicianship?
Both, both. Maybe we'll keep it light here. Will we? A bit of poppy stuff.
I mean, I think the number one pop song was Tom Sawyer.
Okay, here's a
That was
little
probably
sample of
probably their
Tom
number one
Sawyer.
pop song, but like I wouldn't get into listen to the whole. Listen, I'll tell you what. Spend your day today. Listen to the whole Moving Pictures album, and there's no way you're not going home a Rush fan. It's one of the greatest freaking rock albums of all time.
Can you hear that?
I don't hear anything though. Just put on that whole album. That whole album is amazing. It's got a couple songs that were radio hits, but then like the whole second side is just musicianship Up the ass, man. You're talking about a band who had three guys, and each one of them could be ranked in the top five best ever of their instrument. The drummer is probably ranked, number two, I would say, by most people, right behind John Bonham. But
Okay.
Geddy Lee is a bassist, and the other guy is a
Here's
guitar.
a little sample. Here,
Yeah, yeah, that's Tom Sawyer. Put on like Red Barchetta, man. Red Barchetta is such a good song. I'm gonna have to listen to this today. Now I'm gonna have to go on a rush hole today. What do they say? Down a rush. What do they call that? Go down a rush.
a rush pipe. I don't know, a rush pipe.
No, when you like are going on YouTube and you start going from this one to that one to the other one. It's like,
Oh, I don't know. That's something that I think that's a sorority house type of rush thing. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm looking at this album. Tom Sawyer was probably their number one song. Red Barchetta is just unbelievable. YYZ is a masterpiece. Limelight was also sort of a pop tune. And then the second side is just so good. Three songs. I think only
I
one.
guess I guess I know what I'm doing for the rest of the day here.
No, you got to listen to that album today and thank me later. You guys, you got to get off the jigs, man, off the Irish jig dancing and listen to some real music.
Jigs and the reels. It's jigs and the reels, man. You can't give up the jigs and the reels. A little bit of deadly eye. No way. That's no way.
Well, you don't have to give it
But
up. You got to expand a little bit into Rush.
that's oh yeah, because that's all I listen to ever.
I know.
I listen
That's
to
all you
like
Irish guys do, man. You sit at the
Guns N'
pub,
Roses, man, Metallica.
you
I've
drink
got
your fucking beer, you drink your beers, and you listen to that shit that they played on the Titanic.
I don't
What
know
do
what
they call it?
man.
Celtic? They call it Celtic music or what?
Traditional Irish music. Trad. We call it trad here. So
Trad.
yeah, there'd be times where I'd go into a bar and like someone would just whack out a guitar and they'd be singing, and next thing the whole place is singing, and you're kind of standing there going, "This is why all those American movies actually have us like singing in bars all the time," because actually it does happen quite a lot. Not in every bar, but like you have to pick and choose your bars. But there will be times where you're just like, "Oh God, this whole thing is like an American set movie right now." Like we're all deadly eyeing the shit out of it.
Here's the 20. Ready? Let's see if we know them. The 35 best Irish songs of all time. Linger.
Oh, that's "Linger" by the Cranberries.
Yeah.
Doris Keane, "Linger."
Fisherman's Blues by the Waterboys. Sunday Bloody. Oh, these aren't Irish songs. These are band songs by
You
Irish
too. It's
bands.
Irish. Yeah. Yeah.
The Rocky Road. Oh, you're probably like what? I guarantee you like that. Oh, Van Morrison's an Irishman. He's good. You
Yeah,
probably
he's
like
good.
that.
The Pogues. Have you heard of the Pogues?
No. I bet you like what's it called? Come on, Eileen. That's probably like your favorite tune ever.
Jason Shapiro gets cancelled nationwide in Ireland from one interview.
Come on, Eileen. Oh, who sang that one?
Who doesn't love that tune? Who doesn't love
Dexter
that
and the
tune?
Midnight Runners. That may have been the worst song in the history of mankind.
It's yeah, I know. They definitely break that out at all the weddings, don't they? God. It's
Horrible, dude. And those guys in the end of their career too were getting booed off of every stage. I was reading one time. The guy ended up losing it because they were getting booed off of every stage.
one band when I was living in San Francisco for a summer, I got really into Dave Matthews because he seemed to play like every couple of days somewhere around California or San Francisco. And
Yeah,
I saw those guys play live, and so you talk about musicianship, man. I mean, wow, they're incredible.
I'm not a huge
Just-
Dave Matthews fan, but I can't argue with the fact that they're really good. They're
They're
not,
very good.
they're not my thing, but I know that they're super good. Yeah. And they also, from what I understand, put on some really good shows too. You actually kind of look like this guy on Dexy and the Midnight Runners. You just got to get the, what do they call that? What do they call these things? These, just got to get that outfit, man. The overall.
Midnight Runner outfit.
Yeah, you got to get the overalls.
I don't know what their gig is. Oh, all right, denim.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all wearing denim dungarees. But actually, they kind of look like how everyone looks like here in Ireland most of the time.
I think that was the idea.
Fair enough. Oh man. So what else is going on? How's Mr. Piro doing?
It's good, man. Excuse me. Oh, I got a fucking back issue, man. Molly
Got
Malone,
it.
how about that one?
Molly Malone. No, you want to listen to like the Pogues or Christy Moore, singer-songwriter stuff, ballady stuff. Like if you want a really good ballad album, one guy unplugged in
Yeah.
front of a big crowd, it's Christy live at the Point. I'll send you a link. But Christy Moore live at the Point.
The Pogues,
Recorded.
you
Yeah,
two,
Pogues.
obviously the Cranberries, we know they were good. Oh, Thin Lizzy was Irish. Yeah, that's enough for me right there.
There you go. Yeah, Phil Lynott, R.I.P.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, yeah, a national treasure, man.
Thin Lizzy?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, they were good.
Rory Gallagher. Rory Gallagher. You heard of him?
You see the guy from Thin Lizzy?
No.
No, no, I don't know Rory Gallagher. I'm just
You
looking.
would actually really
Thin
like
Lizzy,
Rory
you
Gallagher.
two, the Cranberry, the Pogues. I know all them. That pretty much ends who I know. Boomtown Rats, I remember them. Never a fan.
I'm gonna send you some Rory Gallagher. I'll send you his name. You got to check him out if you're into rock and roll, man. He was the OG of like rock and roll.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, Axel and Flash and the boys would definitely know Rory Gallagher. Definitely. Look this guy up.
Oh yeah, look at that. Sweet Rory, killing it.
He played with Thin Lizzy, like, well, they did some sets together, but I don't think he was in Thin Lizzy. Anyway, this is all good to distract us from trying to buy a monumental dip on oil here, down 2.2.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, your shot to buy the Nasdaq right there. Four could have bought 470s and made 130 Nasdaq points since the market opened.
it's been a nice one.
Um,
Scaling on the euro
are
there, guys.
coming back a little bit. The dollar's coming back a little bit. Your gold trade coming back. You could have bought gold instead of talking about it, man. You could have got
No, I
2045.
did. No, I want 2040. I don't want 45.
I mean, remember this Indian client I used to have in Hong Kong. He'd be
Actually, I
like,
want 39s.
yeah, he'd always be like, I want to buy Hong Kong Bank. I'm like, okay, well, it's 50 bid, 50 and a quarter offer. Well, I want to pay 45. I'm like, okay, but it's 50 bid. So you want to pay 45. I'd like to pay 45 too, but
Yeah,
crude,
but the risk
unleaded, get
profile.
again,
Did you take that crew position you've been talking about, or
long
the
short unleaded.
gasoline?
No.
There's potential support for crude here, but I don't like it at all. At
Mm,
72.16s, that had that level a while actually. That's a low of November 15th last year. I don't like it.
There's a NASDAQ
Yeah.
right back to where we were pre-number. Above where we
Above,
were.
above, man, above. Check the specs there. It's going to 17,722s. Would I buy it here for there? No. 'Cause that's like 1-to-1 risk reward. I don't trade the Nasdaq unfortunately anymore. It's just wild as shit in there. My risk profile too wild. The Russell. I think I'm going to add the Russell.
You're
All
gonna add
this talk you're giving me about the Russell.
buy some Russell. I mean, if you're long NASDAQ, short Russell
No,
right now,
today, no,
you're up
not
over
today, but
2% on the day.
I'll add it into my mix though. Intraday. Definitely add it into the mix. But what am I tracking if I'm tracking what am I paying attention? I haven't traded the Russell in like, oh man, like 5 years or something. I don't know, a
Uh,
long time. And even then, I didn't really know what I should be looking at for the Russell. Same stuff as the Spoos? I don't know.
yeah, it's all the same shit, man. Just watch it underperform. I don't know if I was talking about it yesterday, but I was saying like the way the Russell's made up even is so ridiculous.
Yeah, you were. They chucked the good companies out of the big
Yeah,
indices.
if a company does well, it gets eliminated because it got too good, it got too big.
Yeah, and I was saying, well, doesn't that by default then put a valuation cap on the on the Russell.
Oh, look at what it says right here on Wikipedia about your boy, guy Rory Gallagher. It says, okay, he was the greatest guitar player ever. A number of guitarists, including Alex Lifeson of Rush,
Ah, our
have
old
cited,
friend.
has cited him as an influence.
I told you, didn't I tell you? Did Slash? I think Slash quoted him as an influence as well. He was going around, I think, at the same time Hendrix was.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so that's your next music album to listen to.
I'm definitely gonna have to check this guy's out. He was in the blues rock power trio Taste. I'll have to check out Taste.
Taste. Never heard of them.
He's from Ballyshannon. Isn't like every town in Ireland called Shannon?
No, but it is the name of the largest river that runs through the entire length of
Oh,
the
that's
country.
right.
It's
Ballyshannon,
your
County
Amazon.
Donegal. County Donegal.
Donegal is how you pronounce that.
Donegal, okay.
Yeah. And Galway. Galway is most Americans come over and they're like, hey, yeah, we were in Galway. You're like, it's Galway.
Yeah, I don't even pretend that I know how to pronounce shit anywhere. I just make fun of myself instead. When I was in Norway on the train, this Norwegian woman sitting across from us, and I was like saying all the names, and clearly I have no clue how to pronounce a Norwegian fucking word. And she was just like, she was cringing every time I opened my mouth.
Guys, I think on oil, as we were looking at 7160s here, a low, a period.
He moved to Derry City, and then he moved to
Yeah,
Cork.
I mean the north of Ireland. That's man. I mean, at the time he was around in the 80s, that was not a great place to be in the
Cork?
80s, man.
What about Cork?
No, no, north of Ireland, Belfast.
Oh, he was in the 60s, though.
Yeah, well, in the 60s as well, it was even worse.
Oh, here's your shit. Gallagher was initially attracted to skiffle after hearing Looney Donegan on the radio. Oh yeah, skiffle. That's where all these British blues guys all started with skiffle.
What is skiffle? Is that a style?
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard of that. Not much to do here, really, actually, and just waiting and waiting for things to happen. I think bonds are going to take a pullback.
And
All
there
right,
it
man.
is.
Well, listen,
All right. Go out and mend some fences or something.
I'm gonna share some sheep
Yeah, shear some
and
sheep.
I don't know, do something with horses. I don't know what it'll be, but maybe find a cow somewhere, some wood to chop.
There you go.
It's great here though, because all the birds are like, I wake up in the morning now, it's a little bit brighter. The birds are singing. Spring cometh. You're you're a heretic though. You don't even leave the house.
I don't leave
Oh,
the house very much, but I will be happy for when spring comes. We got a while, I think, but
all right.
all right, man. We'll have a good weekend.
You too. Take it easy. Cheers.